up, guys? It has been a while since I've updated you on my life, and I really just want to use this video as a checkpoint to kind of go over kind of what's been going on the last 3 months or so, because I would say the best way to kind of summarize it is, or to explain it really is, you know, in life you go through seasons, obviously, and in those seasons there's different types of seasons, right? And I'm not talking about spring, summer, fall, winter, right? Obviously those are the seasons, and I believe those are the cyclical seasons that we experience are actual seasons in. So hang in with me there, right? So the pattern, right, of these seasons, and some of y'all are like, this nigga is fucking gone. But like, really think about it. Think about it with me for a second. Like, these seasons we go through, right? You have those seasons that are good, like those good seasons, right? Like that sport season where you're just fucking killing it, right, in your prime or something in high school, or that season you were getting all the bitches or like whatever, right? That was like a good season. Then you have the bad seasons, like the rut, the weight gain, the the bad grades, like just et cetera, et cetera. I'm relating this to childhood because I feel like there's more people have a lot more similarities in their childhood than they do their adulthood. I don't know, not that deep, but so then you go through good seasons, bad seasons, et cetera, struggle seasons, growth seasons, long seasons, feelings of long season, feeling of quick seasons, right? And this last 3 months categorized in what I would say the spring season, which historically for me isn't always the best season. Relating it to business-wise as the Q2 quarter historically is not the best business quarter either, and it's just these patterns I'm starting to see as I've gone through the adulthood yearly cycle, or patterns that I'm starting to pick up on and really analyze and kind of understand these feelings, whether it's through the weather or the time of year or the season, right? What I really see in the springtime is I see like the unraveling of the New Year's dial, which is just kind of, it is inevitable, bro. You cannot keep up the dial 12 months out of the year. And even if you do, your little like little downtrend will be somewhere, and it's like statistically, pattern recognizably, kind of after that first hump, dude, it's just like, it's the way of life. And what I'm trying to get at is like this last season of spring has been a struggle for me. It has been one where we're not even failing forward, because I'm all for failures, bro. Like, that's, people think life is identified in your failures or your successes, but it's really in your ability to like bounce back from those failures that really identify your true meanings of success. Because anyone, bro, I don't care if you had the worst day of your life, it's gonna be fucking hard can pinpoint a positive in a second, minute, hour, moment, day, week, month, year of positive or goodness. And it might not even feel that good because you're negative, but you can always identify it. And that's just something that we're going to switch into this summer dial, which is going to be the new season. So, ultimately, we are going to chalk this up. I'm calling it right now, L season. We're 1-1 right now. We are 1-1 on season. Which basically means like that whole first season of winning was for nothing. But it's not, because without that win, if we lost that season and we lost this season, we would be 0 for 2, and we would be across the board losers. So there's that. But with the summer dial, we're going to kind of close off this last season, and we are going to initiate the summer dial. And we're going to add some parameters to this dial based off of this previous season and where we lost. So where I saw the biggest failure in this spring season was most definitely alcohol. Okay? And it really wasn't extreme excessive use for a single 24-year-old male. As you can see, physique's there, but at the same time, with someone who's been lifting for 8+ fucking years, you can take 3 months off and not look that bad, right? But if I were to sustain probably this lifestyle, I would look more like an average Joe than like the ideal Chad kind of person that I would hope to be kind of almost categorized in or closely categorized in. I think that's reasonable to say. Now, that's douchey as fuck to admit, but I live in a world of truths and oh fucking well, right? But we're not gonna hide the fact that we did say we're not prime, we're not prime where we want to be. I would say we're dipping close to the below average aesthetic line of where I usually am, where it's my physique's really only looking good during pumps, which is how you can tell you need to start cutting, in my opinion. As soon as it's man, I only look good at a given time of the day when the carbs are right, and I'm only look good at that time of the day right after the pump, that's when you got to start asking yourself, okay, if I only look good 10% of the time, then over a horizon, I really don't look that good. And that's where we're at physique-wise. So with that being said, we're looking into Retta TrueTide, getting back on that. That was a fucking insane drug. Retta is my second favorite drug of all time, only coming after LSD. And what I would say it is my all-time reoccurring forever stack number one option, because LSD was cool 3 times max, and now it's probably just making me more retarded, which I'm not opposed to being retarded. I think actually being retarded is a lot better than being smart. I think most smart people build an intellectual castle that they put themselves in, and it just gets bad. But however, Retta, I think I could probably use for the rest of my life on a microdosing level, and really just optimize and utilize everything that's in that. So that's where we're at with that. Now as for business, that was really what we put our big goals for in the spring season, and we lost. We took an L. Right? So what I will say is pretty cool is we developed, right? This was not one of our goals, but I think this is kind of this is a bigger goal, or it would have been should have been an identifiable goal, is we have created reoccurring revenue in our business. So we have about 500 a month in reoccurring revenue, and we're at a point of business where we've been before in a previous business in firewood, and it's pretty identifiable what the constraints are at this given point. It's just a different vehicle, and with that being said, it's actually a pretty similar vehicle, other than the like logistics, I guess you could say, and then the operational procedure of, I would say, I guess, each employee minorly changes. And then of course weather is a big factor that comes into the difference when inputting manual labor versus the winter and the summer. I would also say for another weather component is it rains a lot more in like this kind of time of the year. Even more so, I would say, the summer than the winter. So you do have to deal for weather and transportation factors. Other than that, the things I've kind of noticed is similar constraints. So right now, like based off of our revenue of like producing under, not really under, but like just around like the 1.5 mark. That's kind of like for me, like, and I think I think this is really for everyone that you've kind of learned, like, that I've kind of learned is like, there doesn't take a lot of fucking effort for the average human to create about like 1.5K revenue on, 20 to 50% margins, depending on, how much you're inputting your own kind of, how much of the work you're doing versus outsourcing, kind of making it like passive versus active-ish, right? On about like 10 to 15 hours a week, like very, 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 very fucking reasonable. So I would say that, right? We look at 1.5K a month, that's probably on average 15 hours a week. I would say if you could get to 40 hours a week working, then you could look at 4K a month, right? Like that would be like a good, like, kind of metric look. It's not perfect, just it's like a cool way to look at numbers. Like, well, I'm doing 1.5. It's like a comparison. It's a fraction. It's a ratio. It's a percentile. It's just a good way to look at the kind of numbers that are going on. So yeah, that's that. And so really, like, for this, how can we get to 10K a month for, like, if we can rock 10K a month for like 3 months, like let's just say July, August, September, we can even really throw October in there, when we'll kind of start like cooling down. Holy fuck, bro, like holy fuck, dude. Like 30K in 90 days would beat our 90-day record. Our 90-day record is about 20. And if we can build the lifestyle we want around it, we're gonna be really happy people. And it's just the time to do it. We're looking at a lock-in phase, and this is kind of what the summer dial definition is. We're moving out of our crib August 31st. So we would transition that kind of dial / move out into, the next chapter of our life, the next like kind of big, serious chapter of our life. And that is, that's a big step for us. I really don't know what it would look like yet, right? But that's like what we're fucking doing, is we're getting to figure out what this next chapter looks like, and I want to like be fully immersed in that experience. And that's what I'm starting to trying to do, is like this struggle season I just went through defined me as someone who struggles, or someone who is struggling, right? And now it's time to almost reverse engineer that into a man who succeeds. So much of it is like almost like artistic and poetic, in the sense of like just redefining the terms of the character. Like it's almost as if you're storytelling, like you're romanticizing life again. Like I've always said this, right? As someone who's so logically oriented, it's like the feeling isn't there for me, right? Like, or the feeling is kind of like, feelings are bullshit. Like you can't create, like you can't, I don't know, maybe as a guy it's different for women, but like as a guy, like you can't make yourself feel a certain way to a certain extent, like in and out, like feelings are just gonna be different, but like logically speaking, that's pretty fucking structurally clear. Like, yes, like you may be incorrect, but I mean that goes the same for what the fuck are they? Dude, just go, bro. Just go, you fucking douche. Oh my god, go, bro. You got it, dude. All right, but that's kind of what we're remapping. So we're gonna close out the finale of this season. We're going to slap an L on the spring. I will say this, bro. Usually when I take L's, it's fun. That's the fucking problem, right? Zerka said this, bro. One of the John Zerka, streamer. You are so addicted to taking L's. Like, my gooch. Okay. Your body, yourself, you love taking L's. Hear this, hear me out. Why do we fucking love sitting on our fucking beds and just doom scrolling, watching movies, eating fucking shitty food? We love that, and it's the worst possible thing we could be doing for ourselves. Yeah, we love that shit, and that goes for everything. We love getting intoxicated. Like, it's a fleshly desire. And it's so bad for us now. I understand, like, in this celebrating time, but the pain after the celebration of realizing that you can't sustainably do that is so ball clinching, dude. That you have to remind yourself, like, you love comfort. And that's what's fucking crazy about the last 3 months is, like, logically I felt like shit, but emotionally I've been alive, and that's what's fucking crazy. Like, and I think that's where I just have to come back to, like, look, I'm a logically based person that operates in an objective reality, not in what makes me feel good. Because if you only do what makes you feel good, you are deceived. You're deceived so hard. And that is, I will say this, that is simply because I picked the objectively logical route. Okay? So, if you choose the emotional route, like, I don't even fucking blame you. I've just done both, and I've seemed to enjoy the logical side more. Not to say there's a right and a wrong. Obviously, I picked the one I thought was right, or I think is right, and will continue to. So, look, that's pretty much it for me. Small side note is we are going to kind of present wrap this season into either 75 hard, which I probably doubt, maybe potentially a bodybuilding show, which also is kind of like because we need some sort of end goal get to thing, and I don't know how we're gonna structure. I mean, similarly, right? Like we just said, like we kind of know what we want to get to from a business, life, and fitness standpoint. So it's like we kind of know where we want to be around August, going into fall. Really like seeing this kind of pattern of potentially like 3 months on, 3 months off business-wise, where we generate enough capital from firewood and lawns to kind of take a periodical break in those times in spring and fall to enjoy the emotional side of things. But like, who fucking knows, right? We'll fucking see. So that's all I got for you guys. that's where my headspace is. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm trying to get. And yeah, that's how the past has been. So this is kind of, we'll call this the spring recap. We took an L, but we're failing forward. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. See, you can tell I'm ready for the camera to turn off. I was instantly ready to just get that fucking booger out of there. But yeah, we're gonna get back into the work day. Stack our days. Keep doing what we gotta do and live life objectively. So talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Have a great week. Hope this helped. I will see you guys shortly.